I am going to call for a parade for our next guest.
Yes.
You know, with big drums and blaring bands.
I hear you.
And all the rest. Because we have a gentleman on the line who, you know, he ain't on the good foot. That's one thing I can say. He don't know how to get on the good foot. But he stands on a pedestal. And his name is James Brown.
He's my hero, too.
You know, you guys know what he does with CBS and the whole bit. But look here, I've got to just share this with you that his added responsibilities as of late is a special correspondent at CBS News, including reporting for 60 Minutes and 60 Minutes Sports. He's hosting on Showtime, hosting inside the NFL, co-founder of Brown Technology, a minority-owned information technology company, ordained minister, and doing work with the AARP as national ambassador for the community, and Verizon Corporation working on domestic violence awareness and prevention, and a minority owner of the Washington National baseball team.
Are you talking about 10 different people?
I'm talking about one guy. He's got so many jobs. I asked him this morning, was he of Jamaican heritage? James Brown, welcome to the Rock Newman Show.
Hey, first of all, Rock, and as I replied back to you, if that appropriate analogy applies for me, it does for you and Charlie Broadman, because I don't know either of you doing just one thing. You guys, and what an outstanding pleasure to be on here with Charlie Broadman. I mean, Rock, it really does speak to how you are so broad-based in terms of recognizing people of good character and integrity and who are doing good things across the board. And we know that Charlie Broadman is a national resource. But, Rock, I'm only, as I said before, trying to follow in your footsteps. Pockets not as deep, Charlie Broadman, as Rock Newman's, but we're trying to get there. And then finally, he knows how to make everybody melt. When I heard, I believe her name was Mia, the young lady who had the intro to this segment. Man, who wouldn't smile hearing a beautiful young lady like that welcome Rock to the program?
Charlie, James, that's one of my beautiful granddaughters.
I love it.
JB, you do so many things. Let's focus for a moment here. Obviously, you cover the NFL. I have coming up later in the hour. Darrell Ledbetter, who was just elected to be the president of the NFL Sports Writers Association.
Wonderful honor.
And I want to ask you about the hometown team. I'm not going to today get into the issue of the name. Folks have seen my Facebook posts and know how I feel about that. I have strong feelings about it, but that's not going to be the issue today. What I'd like to ask you to share with our audience would be your observation of the growth of the team, what you think the immediate and long-term future might be.
Wow, good question, Rock. And by the way, if I'm not here when you welcome Mr. Ledbetter on, please give him my congratulations as well. A very high honor, and I'm certainly well-deserved indeed. Hey, in terms of the Redskins, Rock, look, I'm a native Washingtonian, and like most others, even though I always tease that there are, Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, said there are more Dallas Cowboy fans per capita in Washington, D.C. than any other place around the country. Isn't that amazing? And I know when I was over at First Baptist of Glen Arden, Pastor John Jenkins had me get up just to say something to the congregation, and I said the first thing I wanted him to do was to conduct a healing service for all the Cowboy fans around. So he said he's got to be neutral, of course. But in terms of the Redskins specifically, look, they have grown and matured. John Madden once told me before, he says ownership of any given professional team is the only position in football where you don't have to have been an intimate part of the football community for a long time. And I think that Dan Snyder, the owner of the Redskins, has really grown as an owner to understand that what you do is you hire the best people, you delegate responsibilities to them like you would do in corporate America, and let them run the team, and you review them at the end of the season to make certain that you're moving towards the goals and objectives. And I think he has matured, and as such, the team has. I think what he has built now to this point has been a very nice squad. Look, this year, I was very surprised with the success of the team. Give an awful lot of credit, while clearly the marquee name has been RGIII, Robert Griffin III, London Fletcher on the defensive side. Rock, I've always believed that any team that's going to be successful has to have the proper mix of outstanding youngsters and some veterans who understand what it takes to be professional and lead by example. And London Fletcher has been that example. RG3 is a young man wise beyond his years in terms of coming in with immense talent, but also showing the kind of work ethic and team orientation that has carried this team to the next level. I just pray he will be successful in his rehab and coming back from such a serious knee injury.
JB, you are an inspiration and a really great example for kids throughout this country and around the world. Who, aside from your immediate family, your parents, who was your inspiration and why?
Wow. You know what, and I'm glad you said aside from my parents, because my mother and father, both who've gone home to be with the Lord, you know, they were, and they provided the foundation, period. Everything started there. That was the rock-solid foundation. Look, there have been a few people who've had tremendous impact on me, starting first with my middle school coach, Don Fugel, at Bacchus Junior High School. Clearly, Morgan Wooten has had a tremendous influence on me, my high school basketball coach at DeMatha High School. And there were others along the way as well, too. But in terms of influencing me in the most important way, I call them accountability partners, people who, you know, walk the walk and walk the talk. Tony Dungy, the former coach of both the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and, of course, Super Bowl winning Indianapolis Colts, is a very close friend, Rock, and he has been a tremendous influence, a man who is as transparent as they come. And look, you played baseball. You know it all too well. You enjoyed the highest of heights in boxing, representing talent that included Riddick Bowe, and also in basketball with Steve Francis. You've had such a strong influence on so many people in the sports arena and well beyond. I don't know if people understand the full breadth and scope of all the things that you've been doing well outside of that, including in running countries and politics and the like. No, I mean that lovingly, too. I mean, I found that out when I was down in the islands. You know, Rock's got a real strong hand outside, as a strong influence outside. But, you know, to me, people who walk the walk and walk the talk, and Tony has been that way. And unlike the stereotypical notion of a coach who has to engage in profanity-laced tirade to try to exhort a player to higher heights and better performance, Morgan Wooten and Tony Dungy are cut from the same mold. Warren Sapp, just now about to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, said the thing about Coach Dungy, whenever they got together for film sessions, he said he would hate it if he made some mistakes in a game, and in that film session, Coach would stop the tape, point to him, and then just look at him and say, "What were you thinking?" He says that was the most embarrassing question to be asked. What were you thinking? Yeah. Tony did it by just exhorting the best out of people, and he started with each team saying, hey, if we're champions on the field only and not in the game of life, then we really haven't accomplished anything. And I think that speaks volumes for the kind of guy he is.
JB, we could talk all day long, but if we did, my show would get canceled because I wouldn't have any sponsors.
Hey, look here, I get that loud and clear. Hey, Rock, but that's what you get when you start me early in the morning, you know. Hey, but you and Charlie continue to have a great dialogue there, and please tell Brother Ledbetter congratulations on his honor, too.
I absolutely will. JB, thank you so very much, man. Love you much.
Okay, and also your producer, Ron Harris. Thank you, man. God bless you.
Be well.
Okay, bye-bye.